strong.
Hi, and welcome to Funny Minds. I'm your host, Lynn B.
Co-host Edward here, Edward Biss. How are you?
And today we are very honored to have on a very special person, Bullseye the Clown. And Bullseye is an author. He's got a show on YouTube. He's an anti-bullying coach. And I'm so excited to have him. And I'm just dying for the getup because he looks so great. Welcome to our show, Bullseye. You look great. You really look great.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, really.
It's funny. We're having a discussion with someone earlier, a previous guest, and we're talking about clowns and how so people have such a phobia. And I said, well, be careful what you say because we have Darius Clown coming on a little bit. But I pointed out for your picture, I was like, he's the most non-threatening looking clown.
Really?
I get it. I have the same phobia of politicians, so I get it. So
I think we all do.
Yeah.
How did you get started in this?
Honestly, I got started late. I really was almost 50 when I got started clowning. My dad passed away in 2018. And when he passed away, he never traveled. And so when he left me money, I didn't want to just like pay a bill or,
Sure.
buy a hubcap or something, I wanted to do something. So I wanted to travel and go somewhere. And I remembered seeing a movie years ago called Patch Adams with Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And Patch Adams is actually a real clown who happens to be a doctor. And he does clown trips all over the world. And so when I was on his website, I had noticed in 2018, there was a trip coming up to Russia. I had never clowned before, but I thought, oh, how hard could it be? I found out. On a whim, I contacted Patch Adams. He said, yeah, come along. So before I knew it, I was sitting in Russia with 35 clowns and we were there for 14 days. So it was like a clown boot camp.
Wow.
That's super cool.
In Russia, of all places. Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is before all the craziness now, but yes.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how I got started. We went into like hospitals and orphanages and mental institutions and just all kinds of different places, and I really never thought I would clown again once I came home. I just thought, okay, this is going to be like a one and done kind of thing. And then I just noticed the impact that clowns were having on the people that we were encountering, whether it be, you walk into a hospital room and people look like they're in pain and all of a sudden you see the pain just released from their face when they see you and they're all excited and they forget about the fact that they're in pain, while you're there. And so I was like, there's something to that. So maybe I need to figure out a way to do that once I get home. And I did.
So what made you did you go out and then decide to do the show or did you just decide to do never really traveled or do you do both or, how do you do that?
What show are you talking about?
Well, you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Yeah, and all that kind of started. All this stuff really, the catalyst was this Patch Adams trip. That's really what started everything. So once I came back, I thought, well, I need to do something, because at that time I had just quit a job because I knew my dad was sick, and so I quit this day job that I had that I didn't like anyway.
Okay. Well, that's a good reason.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I'll quit that. And then so I was able to not work for a year. So during that time, I was just kind of figuring out where I wanted to go. And so I started designing. I'm also a certified personal trainer. So I decided to make a clown fitness program that I could take into the senior community. So I would travel.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Really?
That's a good idea.
And so that's kind of how I started here in the United States. And then I continued to do some of the Patch Adams humanitarian trips. And so I really like I don't like to do birthday parties and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with clowns that do that. Don't get mad at me. But no, that's not my focus. So my focus was really trying to help as many people as I could. So I traveled with Patch to Morocco and to Mexico and to Costa Rica. And then I started my own clown tours this year. Was our first year with my own tour. We went to Guatemala.
Wow.
I wanted to leave something behind. When we would go with Patch, we hug and we kiss and we play and we have fun. But when we go, we don't really leave anything behind. So for my trip, I call my company Clowns on a Mission. We went into Guatemala. we took 200 backpacks filled with school supplies to give out to the poor children who couldn't afford school supplies. And then while we were there, we noticed that everybody was hungry. They're like, you know what? These people are hungry. And I'm like, well, I know, but our mission was just to do backpacks. That's what I had. Get carried away here. And so they're like, we need to buy them food. And I'm like, how much is food? I'm like, how much money do we have? And, and so we decided to buy 200 pounds of rice and 200 pounds of corn. And then we got like one of those scales, that they measure drugs on. And we started measuring out like the rice and the corn and bagging it all up, and tying it. But yeah, it was amazing. For $50 American money, we bought 200 pounds of corn. I mean, it was amazing.
Wow.
Wow. It's $50 for 200 pounds, and yet the folks there couldn't afford it. So we just passed out food everywhere that we went. So we would do like a little show, and we would interact and play and everything. And then at the end, they would all line up, and we'd hand them food.
Oh my God, that's wonderful.
How long in advance do you plan these types of journeys, and how long do they usually last? Do they vary, or are you kind of in and out within like a 4-day period? Or
mine's that was 7 days, and like I said, once we left, we're already planning to go back in February. So I'm already trying to round up some people, some clowns to go. So I'm hoping I can find some clowns to go with me.
I can't imagine how that would be a problem.
Yeah.
You can just hire half my family.
Thanks a lot.
And you're hired. Yeah, so we're already planning it. Like I said, really this year I would like to, we did 400 pounds of food last year, plus like 500 packs of cookies and 500 juice boxes. We would like to at least get like 800 pounds of food this time. So I really would like to kind of ramp it up a little bit this time. Maybe hit some of the places we didn't hit the last time, go back to some of the places that really needed it. There was a place that was called the Dump. It was really it was a landfill. That's pretty much like we would see in the United States. It's a landfill that people overtook. They're like, we can't afford a home. So they just went to the landfill using the stuff they had in the landfill. They built their own homes. They just built them right there in the landfill.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess you really, we're like protected here. And I mean, we deal with our own baloney in this country, but you really don't understand how other people live until you go abroad and you really see it for yourself, Yeah.
So that was a kind of an eye opener there. So like I said, we'll definitely hit the Dump when we go back.
He's going to the Dump.
We're gonna go to the Dump when we get there.
So are you going to bring food with you? Because I didn't think you were allowed to bring food out of the country. But
no, actually, we'll buy it once we get there. We can also put the money back into their economy as well. So that kind of serves kind of purposes. And
plus, I would think that they have heavy regulations.
Yeah, actually, think about that. For the backpacks, you can't buy stuff like that there, and you can't buy stuff to like send it ahead because they have like virtually like no mail system. The backpacks, I sent like 50 backpacks to every clown that was going, and I'm like, okay, you take these and you take these. And I didn't realize that you can't really take things into other countries if they're valued over, I think it's over $500. So one of the clowns actually got stopped at customs, and they looked in their luggage and they're like, what are all these backpacks and how much did these backpacks cost? And, luckily they were cheap, I got so I was able to quickly like text a receipt to her at the customs so that she could show customs that what she had value was only, it was definitely less than $500. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, so now going back, we at least I know not if I'm going to take anything in bulk to have a receipt for it,
Right. Right. So do you do fundraising? Do you raise money
we do,
for all?
Yeah, so it's like we sell shirts and mugs, and people can just make donations to us via our website, things like that. And then, of course, we charge each clown to go on the trip, and that money, a portion of it, each one of their fee to go is built in. So we actually use a portion of their fee to buy the food and to buy everything while we're there as well.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a self-sustaining kind of tour where we can kind of take a little bit here, a little bit there, and kind of go with it. And like I said, even to stay there, and to the food that you have in restaurants is really fairly cheap. So, so that's what we do.
Well, you got to keep your eye on the prize, on the mission,
Yeah.
It's really not about you. It's about them.
Right. Exactly.
So it seems like you have a really good, rein on how you're conducting, making this possible and making it successful. But it is
Yeah,
amazing.
Wow,
like I said, well,
that's
February was my first one. And, of course, like everything, it's good. Things are going to go wrong. We
right.
locked the
Of course.
we were up on the middle of a mountain, and we locked the keys in the car, and we couldn't get the.
Oh, what does that sound like?
Yeah, right.
I was trying to watch a bunch of clowns trying to get the keys out of the car.
the joke that writes itself, right?
Are you guys all Polish or what's the?
I think they're trying to get a hanger in there, and we decided it's just easy to take the
Oh
window.
God, that's fun.
so funny.
Did anybody video this whole thing?
I got some photos of it. I don't have it on video.
Oh, too bad.
But then we got up on another road, and we had a flat tire. So then we had fix the flat tire. So no trip is without its issues.
Right.
But you're always thinking about garnering support, financial support. Are there other avenues for you to eventually visit?
Yeah, there eventually are. Like I said, I haven't. I'm still waiting for the application to come back from the 501c3 because they want to make this a 501c3.
Okay.
So we don't have that yet. So and I think it'll be easier to fundraise once we have that.
Yes.
Yes, it will. It will. And you won't pay tax on a lot of stuff too. Be tax free. Yeah.
So in the meantime, eventually I would like to reach out to like corporate sponsors. I mean, imagine if it only cost us $50 to buy like 200 pounds of corn. Imagine what, like, if a sponsor gave us just $1,000, how much food that would buy.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
That's kind of how it's funny how my mind thinks now. Because back in the old days, it was like, I would think nothing of paying, $800 to go to a Madonna concert. And now I'm like, oh my God, $800. Can you imagine what that could buy in Guatemala?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
I'd rather go to Guatemala than see Madonna,
Oh my God. That's
absolutely 100%.
Really? Long ago and far away, I had a few dates with a guy who went to clown school. So it was, my niece does a Halloween party every year. So I invited him. So he said, naturally, I'm coming as a clown. Well, the whole thing, he said, the whole important thing about a clown is the nose. He had to make his own nose because he hadn't done any clowning in a long time. And it took him a month or something like that to make this nose. And it was like the most important part of his whole ensemble. Is that the same way for you? I mean, is the nose like the whole deal?
Well, pretty much. I mean, like I say, what I noticed, like with Patch Adams, when we went like on those tours, most of the clowns don't do makeup on the tour. They just do. They'll have colorful costumes. So they might wear something like this and then just pop a nose on, and then and everybody seems to suspend their disbelief and think that, oh, it's a clown. Oh gosh, they don't really notice that we're not wearing makeup. So then whenever I came to the United States, everybody's like, well, you should put some makeup on. I'm like, the things they don't tell you is once you're 50, makeup doesn't quite stick to your wrinkly skin. Like
you have to put a primer on.
Oh, is that what
it's all about the primer.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it. Like, why do I still see wrinkles here? What's going on here?
Little Botox here and there.
Exactly. Like painting
I could see you just sitting down in your consultation chair at a great, plastic surgeon, and he says, "All right, what do we want to do?" And you guys say, "Well, I'm a professional clown." So I want to make could you get my nose a little bit redder and maybe just to get a little whites, And a surgeon going, yeah, that's my first clown, I guess, huh?
Yeah, right.
Tammy Faye, when Tammy Faye was alive.
Oh my God.
She had all of her makeup tattooed on, and I'm like, maybe I can get this tattooed on and it'll look smoother,
Oh God, she looked hideous. Oh my God. Oh, that was like an eye opener. That's for damn sure.
I watched that documentary on her, and
I did too.
They were wanting to take all the makeup off because it's tattooed on, and I'm like, I didn't even know they could do that,
Oh yeah. Oh, the eyebrows, the whole thing.
I know. It's crazy. She but that's like an overboard type of thing. Not everybody does stuff like that.
All she needed was the nose, though.
Exactly. That's all she needed was the nose, and just.
That's for sure. So now in the United States though, you do the YouTube videos for the anti-bullying. So you don't really go out, you just do the videos, right?
No, I go into school. I'll go into schools or companies
Okay.
or whoever wants to do them. I'll go into churches. Like I said, I still go into the assisted livings here, and I do fitness programs, or I'll do just maybe I'll just go into a memory care to visit with the residents there, and just to have fun with them. So I still continue to clown out in the community wherever I am. So
Okay.
and I'm still planning our tours. I mean, I would love to be able to get to the point where I can just do a tour like once a month, to some country. That's what Patch does every month. He goes somewhere.
Oh, that's nice. Well, you know what? Once you get the 501c, you'll be in a lot better position where
Yeah.
you can do the fundraising and probably, eventually you can do that. You can start off, even if it's like every quarter becomes every other month, becomes every month. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Right.
So, and you can get mailing lists, put out stuff to different people and, send a little something on your YouTube from your YouTube channel, show what you do. And, you'd be surprised what you'll pull in.
Right.
You'll get a lot of people that will help you out. They will do it for you.
Yeah,
So,
especially once it catches the right ear and eye of the
yeah,
right person, you'd be surprised what could roll your way. But
right,
the
right.
overall concept is it's just insane. It's amazing. It's
It
amazing.
is.
It's like,
The joy you bring is just like I said, you just can't put a price on it.
Now,
it's
where do you actually live,
I live
Bullseye?
in Arizona.
Arizona.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
And
So I
where's
hope
Patch? Is Patch
Patch is
out
in
west?
Illinois. I want to say he
Oh,
lives.
Illinois.
okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like
So,
and I don't want people to think I'm stepping on Patch's toes. I always tell them,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
my tours are completely different than what he does.
Mhm.
We do completely different things. I mean, he goes to places that I won't probably go.
Mhm.
okay.
I mean, the last two tours we did with him, we went into some prisons, and I'm like, oh, okay. So,
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
so
that's
we
it.
went
I
into
didn't know he did. I didn't know he did that, but I don't really follow him that much. So,
Yeah,
I
so
just heard of him here or there.
we went into a women's prison. It was a women's prison. The women could have their children with them up until they were 5 years old there. Yeah, yeah. So like maybe I guess most of the women they said that she's the lady who runs the prison said about 90% of the ladies were actually innocent of the crimes that they were there for, but they thought they might have ties to like the cartels or whatever. So they were trying to get them in prison to kind of turn on the cartel. And of course, they're not going to do that,
No.
So we just
No,
went
not
in,
at all.
we just went in and clowned with a bunch of people who might know the cartel,
Yeah.
True.
Well, if you see a big black car following you one of these nights, you'll know what's going on. Just be careful.
That is
Exactly.
definitely part of the whole deal, especially when you're traveling to other countries, is definitely having some sort of familiarity and some sort of assistance with tooling around and communicating and what's the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do, or the right thing to say and the wrong thing to say. I mean, people get very quirky about traditions and stuff like that. So, but once you're there a couple times,
Well,
they're
luckily,
expecting you, and that's great.
yeah,
So
luckily
now,
one of the assisted livings that I worked with, one of the residents there, her niece was starting a church organization in Guatemala, and that's how we kind of got connected with Guatemala. So
Mhm.
she lives in Guatemala 6 months out of the year, so she kind of knew the places to go, and she's been going
Yes.
there for like the last 10 years, and so it's like she knew all of our contacts, and so she was with us the entire time and helping us set everything up and where to go and how to get there and all that kind of stuff. So we
That's
had a lot.
huge. That's
Yeah.
huge.
right.
Yeah, so we think that's how we'll pick our countries to go to. Is really it's going to be helpful if we have somebody on the ground in that country that can
Who
help.
really knows, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
My adopted son, he's got his fiance is in Colombia, and he just went down there. So of course, wherever they went, naturally, it's her country. She knows where exactly to go and where not to go. So when he sent the pictures, it was all these beautiful, beautiful places, which it is very beautiful, the places that she took him to. But if you're going there on your own, you don't know what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. So it's really kind of scary if you don't have someone to guide you along the way.
Exactly, and of course, and I don't speak Spanish well,
Mhm.
so I'm
Rosetta
saying
Stone.
they kind of get a kick out of me though. I'm sitting there, I'm trying to explain that I'm supposed to be paying them, 550 of their dollars, and I'm like, cinco.
Did I hear an ocho in there somewhere?
Yeah. So
You squeezed in a niner.
Yeah,
That's
it's like,
cute.
I don't know what
That's
I'm doing.
cute.
Well, the
Well,
assisted livings too. You mentioned going in and doing the personal training and aerobics for the seniors at assisted livings, which is insane too. How
right.
about if you could figure out a way to have insurance companies reimburse you for your health services to these seniors and have it as part of a Medicare plan or something?
There we go.
Well, they have silver sneakers, which they cover
That's true.
for them to go to gyms and stuff like that.
That's
You
true.
just file
Oh,
your
yeah.
claim.
No, you're right.
Mhm.
They
That's right.
do.
You get in maybe with the 503c, or you could somehow say, hey, we're helping out seniors by doing this. And
Right. Yeah. Put us in your catalog, different things that you can offer them. Or
Yeah.
AARP, going to the AARP and having them back you and stuff like that to get into all of this. That's not a bad idea, Eddie. I like that.
Yeah.
You're smarter than
Ooh,
you.
I
what
know.
is
Who would have thought?
burning?
Who would have thought? I'm trying to earn my red nose.
That's right. That's a good idea, though. Really is a good idea. I'm writing it down.
Yeah, really. That's a very good idea, I like
Yeah,
that's
that.
huge.
I like that a
That's
lot.
Sometimes you have to be resourceful, and there's also, I could
Yes.
probably, if I really knew, I really need to connect with somebody who's really good at writing grants, maybe. And maybe we can get some grants to go in and do some of the things that we do as well. And that'll kind of help offset some of
There
the
has
costs.
to be
Sure
because
Oh
there
yeah,
is.
there's people that
there's
just
grants
do,
for everything these
yeah,
days.
they do that. And I'm sure they have it. You probably could get an AI program that could do it for you too.
Yeah, that's probably
You never know.
ChatGPT can write me a grant.
Yeah, you never know. You give it the specifications,
I do that all the time.
Never
That's
know.
how some of my videos that I do. I'm like, can you write me a short little video on, a boy bullying a girl about her hair, and it'll go, brrr, and all of a sudden, I'm like, wow.
Oh, I know. It'll say, "Oh, sure, I can do that right away for you." It's like, okay.
It's amazing what that thing can do. And I'm like, where are they
Oh, I
getting this?
know.
Well, let me ask you a
I
question. Is
use
it
it all the
bullying
time.
if my mom has purple hair and I bust her chops about it? Is that bullying?
Yes, it is.
No.
Tell them it is.
It is, yes.
It's not a compliment. It's a bully.
The sad part is I had purple hair before her.
Oh, that's true. That's
so now
true.
she's trying to copy
She's
you.
trying to one up me just later
no.
on in life.
No, I walk to the beat of my own drummer. He had a different color than me.
Was yours more fuchsia? Maybe fuchsia, yeah.
Well, yeah. sometimes when you go to California, you come back with different colored hair.
That's true.
I just decided to come back with 3 different colors.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you would be a good clown. You should come on our Guatemala trip. Seriously, you would be fun.
Oh, I would love it.
Oh, well, he does stand up, so of course he would be a great clown.
I also do tribute music too, so I'm used to putting on makeup and wigs and performing.
You should come along. That would be fun.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, do I look like Brian May? No, but I played Brian May.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
So we'll just throw some clown makeup on you, give you a guitar, and we'll send you out.
Oh my God.
Absolutely, yeah. Eddie. And don't eat the rice and the corn. It's for the people.
Yeah, it is so
I just
funny.
think it's amazing.
Yeah, and as I get older, it's so funny. I used to be able just to grab, a couple pairs of underwear, a couple of shirts, a couple of pairs of socks. Now I'm grabbing like Imodium and Pepsid, and
oh yeah.
I'm like, you never know what kind of food you're going to get when you get to these places. I'm like, I don't want anything happening while I'm there. So.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're 100% right. Yes.
Yes. I have like a whole pharmacy that I travel with.
Yeah, and you never drink the water.
Neosporin.
Yeah. And never drink the water. No.
Right. Yeah.
That's only next.
I remember.
Oh no! Anywhere you go, you don't drink the water.
Well, yeah, and what I've learned too is you don't flush the toilets in a lot of the places. You don't put toilet paper in the toilet. You put the toilet paper in a trash can, and you don't put it in the toilet.
I heard that somewhere. I forget where I heard it, and when I heard it, I said, "That's the most disgusting thing I ever heard in my life." But I guess their systems can't accept it. So, know.
Yeah.
So
that's then there's usually a sign in every bathroom in English and in Spanish. So it's just really interesting.
Oh my God. Thank God we live in America and look at me. We get to flush.
Well, I'll tell you what, Russia must have been interesting.
It really was. I mean, honestly, though, as much as people talk about Russia, I guess because it was my first tour and it was my first time really out of the United States. I loved it. I mean, I thought that the building and the architecture was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I felt safe everywhere we went, well, except when we went across the Red Square. But other than that,
did you have a bullseye on you?
Well, apparently at the Red Square, that's kind of like their version of Washington, D.C. I guess that's where like the government is. And they told us we had to remove our red noses while we were walking across the Red Square because they felt it was poking fun of their government. So,
see?
So, and what I found out like later after we got across the Red Square was the year before Patch and some of the clowns got arrested because they forgot they did not remove the red noses. So I'm glad I didn't know that.
Wow.
Oh my God. No, I couldn't imagine. I could not. First of all, I couldn't imagine being in jail to begin with anywhere. But in a foreign country, all the horror stories that you hear and everything. Right. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine it. I just
and especially if they don't speak English, then you're I'm like, I mean, for the most part, everywhere we went, I didn't speak Russian. So it was like, it's pretty much playing charades everywhere we went. That was just, physicality. And then I was trying to do this with the kid. This kid was asking something, going, and I'm like, I don't know what. And so after about 5 minutes of this kid got really frustrated. He was like, do you speak English? And I'm like, yes, you speak English. Oh, why didn't you say so? So what I found out is if you have to go to the bathroom when you're in Russia, ask a kid because the kid can tell you because they teach their kids English in case they eventually move this way or whatever. So
wow,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, either that or you just basically drink enough vodka so that you're on their level.
That's true too. Yeah.
It may start to make more sense. You never know.
Very true.
Wow. That's it. Well, now they have the app you can put on your phone. And you you tell it what language and you speak into it and then it'll repeat it in the language.
Yeah. And I ended up doing that in Guatemala this year, actually, whenever I was trying to connect to these people at the hotel and trying to figure out,
quick and easy.
Really. I mean, like whoever set that all up, what a genius.
If you have internet service. So I was trying to do it and my phone was not connecting to the internet at the time. And I'm like, of course, for me not to be able to connect to the internet. So I'm Cinco, Cisco, Zero, Room Trace.
Oh, then you have to bring that big dictionary with you. That you can't find anything in.
But I probably walked out of that and they probably turned to each other and went, what an idiot,
Yeah.
So how hard is it to keep your makeup on in Arizona?
You learn to powder. You have to powder it. So once you put one color on, you powder it down, and then you can put another color over top, and then you powder it. So everything. And actually, this was like even in Guatemala, like when it's like in Arizona, we don't have humidity, but all these countries that we go to, it is humid. So there was one place we went, and it was so hot in there, and the sweat was running down my face, and I thought, oh my gosh, my makeup is probably like running to oblivion. I get into the car and look in the mirror and I'm like, my makeup was still perfect. I'm like, oh, well, that's great.
Okay. All right.
So so it was really amazing. You just powder it down. And so powder your makeup.
I do.
Yeah.
But I put the primer on first.
Okay.
Gotta get
put the primer. Put the primer on, then the makeup, then the powder.
And then all set.
I have a buddy of mine who plays Gene Simmons in a Kiss tribute band.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And we've had him on the show. He's phenomenal. And but that you talk about putting on some makeup and a costume. That's a 2-hour endeavor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm too lazy for that. Yeah, I'm too lazy for that. I mean, like this year, I was like, this is about the extent of what I do. I'm like, okay, that's about enough.
Yeah. I can't sit still for that. I can't sit still that long. It's too much for me.
Yeah, because I'm like, I can do this in about 20 minutes. I can get all this on and powdered out and ready to go. And it's like, if it's any longer than that, I've lost it. So I was
too fidgety. I mean, think about actors and actresses that get body mold makeup and all this stuff, and they're in there for. You'd have to sedate me.
Yeah.
Because I would not be able to sit there that long.
That's hours and hours. Some of them have to sit there and have all that stuff done to them. Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then with even with me, it's like as soon as I get all this on, seriously, every single time I have to blow my nose. As soon as
which ruins everything.
Yeah. So I have that. So I'm like trying to get the tang, and I'm trying to maneuver it in such a way that
no.
so that I end up having to. I have to end up redoing the bottom part of underneath my nose. I have to redo the makeup there. Actually, I did right before I got on here. I had to do that real quick.
Oh no!
So there's something about.
Thank God you didn't have a cold today that you have to keep healing.
Well, this is a professional style nose, so this doesn't require glue or anything. It has almost like a little nose ring, and so what it does is it actually you spread the little ring apart and you clip it to your nose.
Oh, okay.
And so I think, and so I think what that does is it tends to open your nostrils up a little bit. So I think that's what makes my nose run as soon as I get dressed. And I'm like, oh man, you really. So somebody said, well, start putting some toilet paper inside your nose. I'm like, well, yeah, then I won't be able to breathe.
That's
really.
true.
I'll be Snuffy the Clown.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be so funny. Oh, yeah. When you're sick, you can't put your nose on. That's terrible.
So this kind of nose does hurt out. Like if I wear it all day long, like if we're out doing stuff all day, it will hurt by the end of the day. So I have another. I do have another one that's on a string, so that I can at least, if I as soon as we get in the car, I can pull this off and put this on, just so I have something on that's not
clamped on the. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have a Rudolph nose like that, and it blinks.
Oh, yeah. Well, good. You can come to the tour too.
You're in. You are so in.
You two are hired.
Totally hired.
If I had the time, I would do it just for the hell of it. It would be so much fun. I would just laugh my ass off.
Well, honestly, what you don't realize, which is not what because when I went, my dad had passed away, and I was still dealing with all that stuff that happened to me years ago when I was bullied in school, and so I was kind of a little angry and grieving and all that. And what was amazing was after 14 days of just having to be happy, 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 happy everywhere you went, when I came home, none of that angst that I had, none of that anger that I had, all that stuff was just gone, And
so it's just very therapeutic.
It is. It really is. Yeah. I mean, it says you don't have to pay $300 to see a shrink for an hour,
True.
No, you just go for other things then.
Well, I'll tell you what, back in the day, I worked for a hospital, and I did a couple events for them, performing for the kids in rehab, the children, for Christmas, because my wife worked at the hospital and rehab. And so I was always over there. I got to be friends with the director and all that. And so when they had the kids' Christmas party for the rehab center, they had they had Santa Clauses, they had clowns, they had Wiis and PlayStations for the kids, and they had the service dogs, which are amazing.
Yeah,
I'm an animal freak, so I mean, for me it was. And then I brought two of my friends in to perform music. So we did and it was Christmas time, so we did some holiday stuff. We did some stuff for the parents, like we did some Elton John, some Journey, stuff like that. And then for the kids, we did Christmas tunes, Christmas carols, and stuff like that for the kids. And I had a little girl in a wheelchair right in front of me that was so enamored, and her mom was just like, she doesn't communicate with anybody, but as soon as you started playing that guitar, she was locked, she was zeroed in and didn't take her eyes off. So it's little things like that. You walk away from it and you go, wow, that's way more powerful than me or anything, or
That's true. Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, when I went to Russia, one of the things, they said, go, you can have fun with any of the kids there. So just go do what you do. And so, of course, me being bullied as a kid, I always looked for children who were not involved. You have like a million kids that rush toward you, and then you have like some that are sitting back in the background and kind of hiding. So I would always try to go find them. I sat down next to this little girl, and she looked at me, and she got up and she moved. I thought, well, how rude, So I went back over and found her, and I sat down beside her again, and she gave me a dirty look, and she got up and moved. And we did this all around the room. It was like this giant chimney. And so then I decided I was going to pull out some bubbles. So I started blowing some bubbles. Well, then she was fascinated. So she came over and she sat down beside me, and I gave her this dirty look, and I got up and I moved.
Oh, that's perfect.
And then she came and sat beside me again. I'm like, yes, so we did it all the way around the gym again. So this whole process took us like 20, 30 minutes, by the time we went around once, we went around. And then when we finally got back to where we started from, then I gave her the bottle of bubbles and she started blowing them on her own. And so it was just trying to reach them. And so yeah, you don't know what it takes to reach somebody. And so it just took me a little longer to get to her. That's all.
To get it done. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. So on the horizon for you, you're looking for your 401c, which is going to be really important for you.
Yeah.
And Guatemala again in February. Do you have any other trips that you're thinking of going on?
No, I may do another Patch Adams trip in next year, toward the later in the year. So if we go to Guatemala in February, probably around like August. I know in August, September, he usually does either Costa Rica or Morocco around those times. So
okay.
I may do one of those again because if you're looking, that's Patch Adams right there in that little picture.
Right.
That's me and that's Patch.
That's amazing.
Costa Rica is beautiful though, because we had two people on from Costa Rica and they showed us like a view of their outside and stuff. Oh my God, it was so gorgeous. It really, really was.
It almost looks fake. It looks so beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
No, those aren't the places we go to.
Oh, okay. You go to the dump.
The dump. Yeah, we go to the dump at the prison. That's where we go.
The more elite areas of the country.
It's really funny. Sometimes we get time to eat like on our own. So a clown friend of mine, when we were in Costa Rica, we found this little cafe right in the corner by where we were staying. And it was right where all of the lawyers and all the courthouse was right across the street. So during their lunch, all the lawyers would come over in their suits. And here we are sitting there. I've got my makeup and I think I had my orange wig on that was like sticking straight up like this. And I'm over there eating a giant waffle with ice cream. You see all these lawyers and they're all looking at us like, what are they doing?
Where are these
like,
people from?
Should I sue him?
You're right.
Exactly. This is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Is there something illegal going on that I'm unaware of?
That's where you throw the bit.
Tell everybody, Bullseye, where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at bullseyetheclown.com. If you want to learn more about the clown mission that we do in Guatemala, that's at clownsonamision.com. You can find me at Bullseye the Clown on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, you can, we actually have Clowns on a Mission Official on Instagram. And of course, my YouTube channel is actually Clowns on a Mission on YouTube. So you can find us there as well.
And how often are you doing the YouTube? Is that weekly, daily?
Well, not as often as I should be doing it. That's
so just whenever you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Whenever you can get to it.
I'm trying to get better at that. So that's why when I do these shows, that's while I'm already in costume, I just go ahead and film something, even if it's a little short.
Hey,
like
that's fine.
So I film like before I was waiting to start this one, I filmed like 3 little short ones. So I at least have something that I can pop up there. So
right. And then when the show airs, you can take that. I'll share it with you, and you can take that and you can share it with a lot of people and stuff too.
Absolutely,
yeah. Wonderful, which is always very important. It'd be important for your 501c too to show them, what you're doing with people, and getting words out there.
Yeah, and I'm going to start adding these ones to, I have some videos on my Bullseye the Clown page. I am going to start adding the ones where I talk a lot about our mission work and stuff. I'm going to start adding those to the Clowns on a Mission page and have like a video page and stuff like that.
Right, right.
We did get a lot of photos when we were in Guatemala past year. This time I want to get a lot more videos of us in action.
Yeah, the videos would be good. And shorts would be good for the YouTube too. Little shorts. Well, I thank you for coming on, and I think you're absolutely marvelous, and what you're doing is wonderful.
Well, thank you.
And I really support you 100%. I'm really looking forward to seeing you, move forward, get that 501c and move forward with a lot of people and businesses and what have you. And LinkedIn is the best place to be on because there's so many different people on there.
Oh, I'm on there too as Bullseye the Clown.
Yes. So, it's very important because there's a lot of very important people on there that could probably help you out,
Yes.
So we are Funny Minds. Oh, go ahead.
And I think all your listeners should write to you and tell you both of you to join my tour in Guatemala.
I agree. I agree. I totally agree.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what
they have to
happens.
sign a petition. We'll get a petition going.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, okay.
get-
Do you want to see us in Guatemala?
If you get X amount of signatures, Eddie and Lynn will go to
There we go. There we go.
and just clown it
dress
up.
And
God, yes.
you could shoot an episode right from Guatemala. Wouldn't that be
I
nice?
know. We could do that. We could. Well, they would have to have internet.
Oh, they do. They
Okay.
do have internet there because, like I said, my phone was working. And I mean, they definitely had Wi-Fi and stuff there. So
Okay. All right. Well, let me remind everybody that we are Funny Minds, and you can go on funnyminds.com, and we have our store on there, and of course we have merch, and we have different shirts, and we have mugs, and they have different designs on them, so you can check that out. Also, there's a big purple button, and there's two organizations that we're very involved with, and that is St. Jude's Children's Hospital and breast cancer. So if you care to make a donation, that's fine. If not, if you want to do it on your own, that's fine too. They're very good organizations. And of course, think of Bullseye too, when he goes out there and he gets his 501 and, make a donation to his organization too, because they are doing wonderful things. And, we want to see him move forward and do a lot more. So Bullseye, and I never called you by your original name, but that's okay, because we're going to leave you as Bullseye, because you're our
right.
Bullseye.
That's right. That's my name right there. See?
We are so thankful that you came on the show. It was wonderful to meet you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you doing a lot more greater things as you go forward. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So I'd like to say to everybody,
thank you so much, Bullseye.
Everybody, be happy, be healthy, be wise, be careful, smile, and don't forget to laugh, because we all know laughter is the best medicine.
It is.
It is. So take care. Bye-bye now.
Bullseye, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.